What is up everybody, my name is BobaTalks and today I'm here to bring you a brand new video on Gotham. And today's video was going to be called Is Silver St. Cloud Harley Quinn? But then I decided to just go over everything because when I was thinking up the ideas of this video, it kind of got a bit quite into it. So as a whole, the video title is now something like, who is going to be Harley Quinn in Gotham? So whilst talking about it, I'll also talk about a bit of new Gotham information we've learned, but that won't be until a little bit later in the video. But as always, everybody, if you end up enjoying this video and you feel as though it deserves it, please hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. So the great mystery of Harley Quinn on Gotham is growing more and more popular, with more people asking every day which character could turn out to be her, especially the closer we get to the end of Season 3, due to her character being teased for episode 22. Now, as I said, this video was originally going to be called Is Saint Silvercloud going to be Harley Quinn or something like that, but then through the process of making this video, I decided to talk about it as a whole. Now, this isn't a video about how she will specifically be introduced into Gotham, but more about who could possibly be her and why. Now, let's look back at what one of the producers, John Stevens, said. He said that we might see her in episode 22 and that the character will be the launching point for the central plot of season 4. And Stevens also assures us that it is crazy and to get ready. Now, I do agree with most people. This is very exciting news, and considering it's going to be a central plot to season 4, then we may be in for one hell of a ride. But just who could this character be? Now, a long while ago now, it was said that we may have already seen her character on the show already, meaning that we actually could have seen the proto Harley Quinn character on the show, but not realizing that she would actually eventually turn into the infamous Harley Quinn one day. Now, a lot of people thought that this character was Barbara, and that one day she would make a transformation into Harley, especially with all the craziness that got added to her character over the seasons. But a lot of fans hated the idea of this, and I for one really didn't or don't want this to happen. Then not so long ago, the spotlight turned to Dr. Lee Tompkins, and that they could actually end up morphing her character into Harley Quinn instead of Barbara. But yet again, I am not a fan of this, but I know a lot more people are more willing to accept Lee over Barbara. And now more recently, people were thinking that Silver St. Cloud could in fact turn into Harley Quinn. So the question is, guys, who the hell is Harley Quinn, and what exactly is Gotham doing with her character? So, there are a few things to take into account when thinking about Harley Quinn on Gotham. First of all, Gotham are known to have their own canon, and while carrying out the overall theme and familiarities to that of the rise of the Batman, they do and have changed several major things, much to the fans' enjoyment and to the despise of other fans. Examples of this are kind of too many to list, but here are a few. So the Joker of this universe being Jerome, and just his whole backstory in general. For example, how young he is, him having actual origin story, if he does actually obviously turn out to be the Joker. I don't really need to go on about Jerome being a difference compared to the original Joker origin story. Selena Kyle knowing Bruce Wayne as teenagers, villains inspiring Batman, not the other way around, and a female Firefly, but changing genders isn't a massive deal and it's been done before in comic books plenty of times. But there are plenty more from where this came from. So with this in mind, I think that the traditional approach to Harleen Quinzel becoming Harley Quinn could be out the picture, or at the very least, done in a different way. And what I mean by this is that the traditional story of a woman called Harleen Quinzel, and I mean the most popular one that we're all familiar with most of all, who was a psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum and fell in love with the Joker, will most likely not be the way it is portrayed on the Gotham TV show. Now, don't get me wrong, no matter what road they go down, I do truly believe there will be big elements and nods to that traditional storyline and creation of her character, but I am quite confident it will differ to that as to what we're used to. And to be honest, from what I've said so far, nobody should really be surprised by this. For a long time, people have suspected from what we've been teased by Gotham themselves that the character that is Harley Quinn could very well be a character we've already seen on the show, as I mentioned earlier. And for the longest time now, fans have been speculating whether it could be people like I've already mentioned, like Barbara Lee, Silver, etc. Now, the most recent Harley Quinn interest people seem to be talking about is Silver St. Cloud. And I feel like this has kind of kicked off a little bit more with that recent photo shoot she did with Cameron Monaghan with Vanity Fair. Now, I get how these two videos or images, whatever's showing on the screen right now, does look pretty interesting, and I can definitely see where the speculation is coming from. And as far as looking into it after a long while, there's really not too much to read about. It's just one big promotion they did to toast to young Hollywood by having a Vanity Fair Young Hollywood party. And it's not very shocking when celebrities go to Vanity Fair parties or do shoots like this, especially if they've been involved in the same show before. So as you can see from the tweets between both Cameron and Natalie linking these clips, you can see that she said thanks for a great night with a Jerome and Silver takeover tease. And Cameron replied back with another shot of that promo shoot by saying it was fun and congratulations on her recent news. And I feel like because of what they said between each other, people were reading into this a little bit too much. But also, don't get me wrong, at the same time, I could definitely see her being a younger, more Harley Quinn type candidate over someone like Barbara or Lee Tompkins. But will it happen? I don't think so. But as I always try to mention with Gotham, anything kinda is possible with this show. Even though Natalie plays Silver St. Cloud, I would have argued a while ago that this means, well, no, this means she can't be Harley Quinn since Silver is her own character in the Batman comics, and so is Harley as Harleen Quinzel beforehand. But as we've seen with Gotham before, character personalities can morph and be changed. And with the tease saying that we've already seen her on the show already, well then it would surprise me, with in mind that Gotham can and will change traditional story arcs to make it their own, that Silver could actually go down the path to be the future Harley Quinn, as we know her way down the line. And what I mean by this is, for example, on the show Supergirl, some of you may watch this and some of you may not watch it, but in any case, we have a character called James Olsen, who is traditionally Superman's best friend and photographer in the comics. However, they have also now given him the role of a vigilante known as Guardian. And this traditionally hasn't really got anything to do with his character, and in fact, Guardian is a vigilante who originally belongs to a completely different character, yet they've taken the role from that character and given it to James Olsen. Now, a lot of fans really hated this because they felt like, you know, oh, why are you doing this? And it kind of does feel like, hey, you know, they've just given a normal character who we know very well established in the comics a role basically of a superhero, and it's just like, why? And this is kind of completely invented. So you see what I mean, how shows can take one character, for example, like Barbara, Lee, or Silver, and give them the characteristics and maybe a whole different path to take than that they've never really taken before. And this could happen with Harley Quinn to these characters. So now this seems, all from the rumors and woodwork, that this could be the way that Gotham are going about creating their version of Harley Quinn. Now, for all we know, this good news that Natalie has recently got, which was mentioned by Cameron and tweeted out by Natalie herself, could very well be that she knows Gotham is getting renewed for season 4, but that has to obviously be kept on the DL at the minute. And she could have landed herself more or less a season regular role for season 4 of Gotham. Or guys, the more likely option is that it could just be something totally unrelated, and the fact that she's an actor means that she could have got good news that she's landed a role in anything else. This is the thing about rumors, guys, and you know, reading too much into things like this, some rumors can get completely ludicrous, and there's too little to go on to cause such speculation of the matter from what I've read on the internet to do with all these candidates for being Harley Quinn. The point I'm trying to make is it's quite hard to determine who is going to turn out to be Harley Quinn on Gotham. And I suspect that even in episode 22, with this supposed tease of we might see her in episode 22, could still leave us wondering, as it could just be an existing character we already know very well in the show right now, making a Harley Quinn reference or something and nothing more. But let's just hope it is a lot more direct than that and they pull it off in a way that pleases everybody. We have to also take into account that Gotham will only let DC go so far. Changing original characters, for example, which I think is quite out there, someone like Barbara or Lee to be Harley Quinn might be too much of a crazy change. Not to mention the fact that these characters are much older than Jerome. Even though I've said how Gotham like to make their own continuity, basically, this would be too much of a stretch, which leaves Lee and Barbara out of the picture for me. But at the same time, I don't really want to be contradictory to myself. Gotham could go crazy with this and, you know, place any of these characters or somebody we don't even know for the role. So, for example, what about Lee being Harley? For me, it's like, don't turn Lee into Harley. A lot of people are speculating that she really might have the Alice Tetch virus after what happened with Mario's blood and James Gordon shooting him, etc, etc. As so not long ago, we have seen a photo uploaded by Marina Bakarin of her with the Mad Hatter. But I'll get to my explanation of that in just a few moments. But either way, I'm now hearing left and right that maybe she goes to the Mad Hatter to discuss the virus, similar to when Captain Barnes approached the Mad Hatter before. But honestly, if this seriously was the case, and that it was the virus that turned Lee into a bit of a crazy one, which would give context to her new Harley crazy founded role, I would be so disappointed. At this point, I'm kind of tired about hearing about the Alice Tetch virus, and if they use this to found Lee's character's change, then I'd be sick of the virus. It would be an overused, overpowered plot backup for when they want shit to go south. I really don't want Dr. Lee Tompkins to become Harley Quinn, but with this in mind anyway, I don't think she even will be. She is an established character in the comics, well into Batman's career, and yes, I know they can completely change this, but please don't. So now, as for the photo of the Mad Hatter and what I said about, sort of recent news, what they're going to do with Gotham this season, which I mentioned at the start of this video, there's been a lot of keen eyes out there as to the casting of Gotham and what that could entail for future episodes to come. It appears that currently Gotham is casting for quote-unquote angry/infected citizen. Now, due to the casting of this is most likely probably going to be around episode 20 or 21 or somewhere quite late into the season. Now, if you ask me, it could be more to do with the Tetch virus hitting more and more people, and in this case citizens. But as I said before, I'm a bit tired about hearing about this virus. But due to the photo of Lee and the Mad Hatter, he could directly be involved with this new angry/infected citizens thing going on in a later episode. And as for Barbara, to me it's kind of self-explanatory, and I'm not even going to go there. Just no, don't do it. But overall, guys, it's Gotham and it makes no sense. Is Harley Quinn Barbara? Most likely not. Is Harley Lee? Really unlikely. And is Harley Quinn Silver St. Cloud? It's possible, but not probable. I think Silver is a ton more preferable to Lee or Barbara becoming Harley, but either way, I think all three of them are really difficult things to tackle. To be honest, I don't think any of them are going to be Harley Quinn, and personally, I really wouldn't like it even more if Lee Tompkins became Harley or Barbara. In conclusion to this whole video, really, I'm ultimately hoping for a fresh new character. Even though we have been teased with the whole "we may have already seen her on the show already" kind of thing, Gotham has changed its stripes more times than I can count, so it wouldn't surprise me if in episode 22 it was a new casting. Either way, it's tricky. If it's a new casting, what if people don't like her? And if it's true about this central plot to season 4, or is turning an already established character in the show a good idea? Either way, I don't know, but I think it's a dangerous move to make. One that could prove very popular, or to be honest, could be the complete utter downfall of the show, depending how much story they truly do give to this Harley Quinn story arc. But anyway, guys, who is Harley Quinn? I'm really not entirely sure, to be honest. The whole point of this video was more just to talk about the situation as a whole and eliminate characters for me personally. But more importantly, I would love to hear what you think in the comments. What do you and who do you truly think is going to turn out to be Harley and Quinzel, or at least the beginnings of this character in the Gotham TV show? Do you think that one of the characters on the show who's already been, established as their own character and a character in the comics is going to go down the path in Gotham's own way to become that future character? Or do you think they're going to completely introduce a fresh new casting? I would love to know what you guys think, so be sure to comment your ideas in the comment section below. You guys are awesome with anything Gotham related, with contributing your ideas, so I'll definitely be looking out for those responses. But anyway, guys, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. And if you feel as though this video deserves it, please hit that like button, as it really does help me out. Now, if you aren't already subscribed to this channel, maybe even consider subscribing to stay up to date with all things Gotham related. And if you are one of my subscribers, maybe consider joining the notification squad to stay up to date with every video I upload. But anyway, everybody, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.